Welcome once again to Jonathan Earl Gaming. I'm gonna start a third playlist. I have two so far. One of them is for my, to show off the handhelds itself. The other playlist is to show the gameplay. This third playlist is gonna be, I'm gonna call it the questionnaire playlist, where I will ask a question about ANBERNIC, Kitty, or handhelds in general, or games, and you guys will put your answer in the comment section. I may do a follow-up video reading all the answers. So I'll read your responses. First, I'll call your name. I'll call your name out, your username, and then read your comment. Might do something like that. Yeah, but this one's about ANBERNIC. This video here is gonna be about ANBERNIC. This question is gonna be about ANBERNIC. But before we get into that, I'm gonna talk about that. What got released from ANBERNIC. They released a video, a promo of the RG. They call it the RG55G1. And Bruce from Gorillax Retro Gaming asked if I had seen it. I guess he wants to know my opinion. He wants my thoughts about it. Yes, I saw it. I make it my business to know these things. I'm making sure that I'm subscribed. I subscribe to ANBERNIC's. If there's a YouTube channel, I'm going to subscribe to it. To ANBERNIC's YouTube channel, Kitty, AYN, Retroid. Even though I don't have any Retroid Pocket game handhelds in my collection, but I am subscribed to their YouTube channel. And who else I'm subscribed to? I think I already mentioned Kitty. And what's the other one? Magic X. I'm gonna call him Magic X. And there's one more. I don't say it AYN. That's about it. I wonder whatever happened to what's the Pocket Go? What happened to them? Yeah, I haven't heard nothing from them for a while. But yeah. And what I think of the RG55G1, first thing I thought of when I saw it, I was like, oh heck, there goes. I think Retroid is done. It's over for Retroid. We're used to seeing ANBERNIC because the ANBERNIC is good at mimicking other handhelds. We're good at we've seen them mimic official handhelds like Nintendo and Sega. But it's the first time I've ever seen them mimic another retro gaming handheld company. So they clearly they mimicking Retroid Pocket. And the first thing I saw when I saw that handheld, I said, okay, everybody just took the body style, shape, and design of the RP4 and mixed it in with some RP6 features. So it has the shape and body of the RG4, but it has a bigger display. It has this display size of the RP6. Has the I think the RP4 had a I think it had a 5-inch display. It had either a 4 or 5 inch display, but I know for sure the RP6 had a 5.5 inch display, and that's what they put in here. They got the 5.5 inch display, and then they took the speakers, those same speakers from the RP6, and placed them on this RG55G1. So it's like the display and speakers from the RG. No, it's this display and speakers from the Retro Pocket 6, and they put it on the shape of the RP4, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it doesn't. It's not a handheld that really stands out too much to me. It's not something I would purchase. I know it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Somebody gonna buy it because every Anbernic handheld, mainly all the handhelds that Anbernic has done are hits. You know, and whether I like it or not, somebody's buying them things like hotcakes. I never care. Some Anbernics I don't care too much for, like the Anbernic Nano. I never would want to get that. I don't like that at all. But and then that Anbernic the Win 600, I didn't care too much for that. I actually bought that. I didn't like the battery life on it at all, so I sent that back. And there's some Anbernics I don't care too much for, but most of them I like. And this video, the question I'm going to ask, and you put your response down or you can type it in, is how many Anbernics do you have? I mean, first of all, how many handhelds do you have in your collection? The number of handhelds you have in your collection, and how many of those handhelds are Anbernics? And when you type your answer down, I'm going to give an example. I'm going to put mine in there first. Put how many handhelds you have, and type in all the, like if you got all the, if you have the Anbernics, type all the Anbernics in you have, and put in parentheses which color you got. Put that in the parentheses beside each handheld. If the handheld came in multiple colors, put that in parentheses beside the handheld that you type in. And if you want to put all your handhelds, that's fine. You want to put how many PAL kitties you got, but it's mainly going to be about Anbernics. But if you want to put how many PAL kitties you have, or AYNs, whatever. Now, me, I have a total of 23 handhelds in my collection. 13 of those handhelds are Anbernics. 5 of them are PAL kitties. 2 of them are GPD. One of them is a Trim UI. Or the Trim UI that I have. No, is it 2 of them Trim UIs? Well, I got 2 Trim UIs. One of them is a Trim UI PAL Kitty. It's a hybrid. It's both. It's that Model S, Trim UI Model Pocket, Trim UI Model S, the little tiny credit card size handheld. And then I got the Trim UI Brick, the red one. Then I got one Magic X, the 040. And then I got that's it. That's my handheld collection. I'm not gonna include my tablets. I have tablets that I game on, but this is not gonna be about I'm not gonna include the tablets. Just the handhelds. I got a few others that I'm not gonna consider them in my collection. They're more like in the secondary. My primary collection is the 23 handhelds. I got a little secondary. Well, I got a few handhelds that's not as great. I just got them in my collection because I like them. You know that GXD is one of them. I featured that in the one video that I did with all the all my red handhelds. And then there's another one. I can't think of the name of it right now. But yes, write that in the comment section, and I may go back and read them on a follow-up video. Read the response of what you guys put in. But yeah, and we're gonna continue to talk about Anbernic a little bit. I say out of all of the retro gaming companies, Anbernic is pretty much the standard when it comes to their budget is like in between um, cheap and expensive. They're in the middle. They're in the balance. Affordable somewhat. Affordable and high quality at the same time. So it's like that's what Anbernic is. And then Pal Kitty comes in second. But Anbernic has made the most handhelds of any other gaming company. They've made the most, and they're the best at mimicking the other handhelds. And they're good at that. Um, but what I like about them, I don't mind them mimicking the other handhelds. I wish they had mimicked the Steam Deck and give us a 7-inch display handheld uh, shaped like the Steam Deck, but make it as an Android. I would be interested in something like that. Um, and I'll give you some examples of Anbernic. But what Anbernic does, they're mimicking handheld. And we're used to seeing them mimicking official handhelds like Nintendo and Sega. But this is the first time I've ever seen them. We've ever seen Anbernic mimic another gaming company. I've never seen that we I didn't expect that. That was a shock to me when I saw that RG55G1. I said they're mimicking other. I guess they said, well, we're done mimicking the official handhelds. We're gonna go on and start mimicking other retro gaming companies. They're mimicking their retro pockets. They mimicking them. I kind of laughed. That was kind of funny. I said, look out, retro pocket. Um, that was unexpected. Oh goodness, what has Anbernic done now? But that's funny. So if Anbernic can mimic them, I mean, there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries to what Anbernic's going to mimic. They could mimic Magic X next time. They can mimic the Magic X 040. Do their own version of that. They can mimic AYN handhelds. I mean, anything at this point. um, like I said, I wouldn't mind if they would have mimicked the Steam Deck, or if they can mimic the Odin 2 Portal and make their own. I've been waiting for them to make something like that, a 7-inch handheld. That we just can't. For some reason, Anbernic doesn't want to break the 5.5-inch barrier, the display size. That's the maximum they really would do. I'm not counting the Win 600. That doesn't. I'm not counting that. That did have a 6-inch display. But when they did the 552, when Anbernic did their 552, that was a five. That pretty much 5.5-inch display there. When they did the RG Vita, that was 5.5 inch display. When they did the 556 and the 557, that was a 5.5-inch display as well. Um, and then they got this RG55G1 5.5-inch display. But if I were to choose, and I don't think I have none of them. I don't have any of them in my collection. But if I were to get one by design and whatever, it would be that RG Vita. Would be the one I would get. I would get that RG Vita over this 55 G1. I like the design bit on that Vita. Actually, I have thought about getting it, but I don't need it. I got my Odin 2 Portal. And that's my big screen handheld, my new big screen handheld, and I like it. It's got all the features I wanted. Like I said, I was waiting on Anbernic to do something like that, but they never did it. The closest thing they did was the RG Vita. That's the closest thing that I believe they did to the RG. The closest handheld they've made to AYN's RG2. I mean Odin 2 Portal. So, but I got the Odin 2 Portal, and that was expensive enough. So, and like I said, guys, I got my collection down to. I got it down to 23 handhelds. And I at one point I had 50 handhelds, and that was to me that was too many. I was half of them I wasn't playing, and so I accomplished my goal. And that was actually when you write your handhelds down on a list, it's helpful to you as well because you can see what you got in your collection. You can examine it. Do you have too many, or do you have too little handhelds? And I wanted my goal. I wanted to cut it down to around 25 handhelds. So I got 23. That leaves room for two more handhelds for me to purchase. To keep it in that range. And 25 handhelds is not much, folks. It might seem like a lot, but that's not many handhelds at all. Um, yes. So it kind of it helped me out. Then I was noticing some handhelds that I kind of forgot that I had when I did the list. So it's help. It'll be helpful. It's like a layout to see where you at with your handhelds. Because and then some of you guys probably got about 100 handhelds, and you probably don't even realize you have that many. And if you were to do that list, you probably say, "Heck, I can get rid of. I'm not playing half a third of these handhelds. I'm not playing. I can get rid of them, sell them, and make some money, and buy another handheld that I would probably prefer." So this will help everybody. Um, yeah, and again, I gotta go back to the Aminic. I'm gonna discuss what I like about Aminic. Uh, they don't just mimic handhelds. Or they add their own twist to it. They don't just mimic them. They add their own twist to it and make them better. They make them better. They make a better version of whatever handheld. Like for an example, I got it written down here on paper. The RG300X. You look at it, you automatically can see if they it was inspired by the Nintendo GB Micro. But what they did to their version, the GB Micro had a 2-inch display. On their 300X has a 3-inch display, so they made the display larger. Um, the GB Micro only had a single mono speaker. Um, their 300X got two speakers, a set of stereo speakers. Um, the GB Micro only had two shoulder buttons. The 300X has four shoulder buttons. Got the L1, L2, R1, R2. Um, on the Micro, the Start Select has LEDs. The Start Select words got LEDs. They light up when it's charging. Only when it's charging. That's the GB Micro. Only when it's charging, the lights, those lights be on. But on the 300X, during gameplay, the whole time you turn you got the device on, the LEDs are lit up. I really like that feature on the on the 300X. And then overall, and then what else? Um, I don't think you can change the faceplate on the 300X like you can on the micro. I remember the micro you could change the faceplate. No, you can't. It's made in. But I really do love the one thing I really like about that 300X. Those shiny silver. They got silver shoulder buttons on them on the 300X. Silver triggers. I mean, like they shine like a brand new nickel. That's just such a nice feature to have on a handheld, and you don't see it on any other handheld. No, you don't see any silver chrome buttons on any other handhelds out here. And what else did they enhance? Ambernick took the Sega Nomad. I know you guys remember the Sega Nomad, and they had poor battery life. So that's one thing. It had a single speaker, had a 3.2-inch display. Um, And I think if I ain't mistaken, it only had the Nomad had two shoulder buttons, I believe. Or did oh no, I don't or maybe no, it didn't have any shoulder buttons at all. Did it? I don't think it had any shoulder buttons at all. No triggers. No trigger buttons on the Nomad. But Amnet came out with the RG Arc. Has four shoulder buttons, four triggers, stacked as well, two speakers. The Nomad had a 3-inch display. The ANBERNIC RG Arc had a 4-inch display, so it's a larger display, longer battery life because you know you got that rechargeable lithium battery in there. So it enhanced. That's how it enhanced the Nomad. They also ANBERNIC also mimicked the GBA, the plain the normal the regular GBA, the horizontal handheld, the landscape. The original GBA had one speaker. Well, they didn't have the speaker. They got one speaker on the 34XX. The RG34XX is ANBERNIC's answer to the GBA, and they both got single speakers, but the display size on the 34XX was bumped up to it's a 3.5-inch display on that ANBERNIC. And on the Nintendo GBA, it was a 3-inch display. Well, 2.9-inch display. So you get a bigger display. Then you get four buttons instead of just two. You get four buttons on the you get A, B, X. You get A, B, X, and Y on the 34XX. On the Nintendo GBA, you only get A and B. So those are some enhancements there. Same thing with the 300X. Even though it mimicked the micro, the GB micro only had two buttons, A and B. The 300X had A, B, X, Y. You see that? You see what ANBERNIC does? The ANBERNIC takes it and enhances it. And what's the other one that they the ANBERNIC? Oh, we know about the 34XX and the 35XX. The 35XX SP. It's like having a bigger GBA, Nintendo GBA. You get a 3.5-inch display instead of a 3-inch display. That's about the only difference. And then you get four shoulder buttons and the four ABXY instead of just A and B. So it enhances all those. The ANBERNIC took those handhelds and enhanced them and did their own version. Kitty did their version of the. I don't know I can't remember the name of it, but Kitty did it. Did their version of the GBA as well. They did their version. It looked just like a GBA too. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that. So again, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put my answer in the display, and I'm gonna answer my own question, and you guys can look at what I did, and if you can copy that, and like I said, depending on how who participates in this little activity here, I'm gonna read every comment, every answer that you put in, I'm gonna read it. So yeah, put in how many handhelds you have and how many ANBERNICs. Now like I said, I got 23 handhelds in my collection. 13 of those handhelds are ANBERNICs. So I got more ANBERNICs than anything. And that's all I'm gonna do on this vid. Thanks for stopping by, and more to come here on the Jonathan Earl Gaming.